Welcome, everybody, to another B-Ballin commentary. I hope you are all super duper excited, and I hope you're all in a wonderful, relaxed mood, because it is a summer day here in the United States, and by that I mean it is about to thunderstorm, and it's pretty shitty out. It's actually pretty miserable. But anyway, we won't be miserable because we're going to watch a Dota game. And there's nothing more you can do on a non-sunny, thundery afternoon than analyze a Dota replay. So this is my second commentary, just to go over a couple of things that in regards to my first commentary. That was a test game. This game's a bit longer, but there's a couple things I want to go through. First, hopefully I fixed the game sound so it'll actually play in the video. I figured that might be a good idea. Usually it's not really Dota unless you hear First Blood in the sound credits. Or not sound credits, in the fucking game sound. Backtrack. Soundtrack. Fuck me. Anyway, so another thing, you can see my new replay. Ooh, it is nice. I really like it. I made it all by myself. I am a big boy now. That sounded a little bit wrong. And thirdly, I don't really know how to fix the black bars on YouTube, but I don't think that'll hopefully that won't impede my commentary too much. I know it won't impede my commentary of it, but hopefully it won't detract from the YouTube video experience. I am using a Mac. Yes, it is unfortunate. Yes, I'm ridiculed by all the people who I play Dota with. It is quite embarrassing. Yes, I can only play. Well, I better not go into too much detail on. I better not speak the woes too much on playing Dota in a Mac. But yeah, so I don't really know how to fix the black bars in the program I'm using. I'm using a program called Snapz Pro. So if you are one of the 300 million people, one in every 300 million people probably know how to commentate or record something on Snapz on a Warcraft 3 program on a Mac and know how to fix a black bar. So if you are that one person, please give me some advice on how I can fix the black bars. But hopefully that won't detract from your viewing pleasure so much. I am here to pleasure your ears with my dulcet Kermit the Frog tones. And let me tell you something. Listening to myself speak, I don't really record myself often speaking into a microphone or anything, but it was very shocking. I sounded, in my ears, like Kermit the Frog, and it was very depressing. So, alright, now that all that's been cleared up, we can go on to the game, which is enough of my rambling. So, this is what you came here to watch. You came here to watch a darer match between the Retry on Scourge and Nevo, the newly sponsored shift team on Sentinel. On Sentinel, we have Eaten Fish on Crystal Main, Angel playing Luna, Rise playing Necrolite, Cinderin playing the Earthshaker, and Miguel playing the Clockwork. Meanwhile, on Scourge, we have PGG8, top 1 player on Marana, Funny228 on Windrunner, McDeath on Nyx, Just Error on Ancient Apparition, and Vayne on the Enigma. I really like Nyx. See, my favorite heroes are heroes that are relatively, they don't require too much thought, like Nyx and Skeleton King. In fact, I think if you want to resolve who's the better laner, you have to go 1 vs 1, mirror match, Skeleton King, solo mid, and see who wins. Because if you have one skill, that clearly judges that you're the better player, right? Alright, anyway, so Sentinel has a relatively unconventional lineup. This is 6.72C, so this is after the Pillard nerfs, after the Broodmother changes, all that. So there are a couple heroes that are pretty standard on the Sentinel lineup. Earthshaker, Clockwork, Crystal Main's getting in Chicken, Earthshaker has wards. We haven't been seeing Necrolite too much these days. Necrolite, I think, requires a little bit too much farm. You have to get him first pretty tanky, and then you have to get mana, and that requires a lot of gold. And until then, he's not really that useful unless you're playing him in an early pitch strat or an extremely mid to late game turtle strat. And Luna Luna's interesting. In 6.52, I think Luna was a really popular hero, but she sort of fell off the map ever since turtling was discouraged by Ice Frog, which has been extremely beneficial to the Dota scene, in my opinion, and it gives us a lot of hope for Dota 2 when it comes out. So we haven't been seeing too much Luna, but she's getting some good changes. She has the Lunar Blessing aura now that gives her extra damage right off the bat, and it gives her extra vision at night. We have Eclipse that turns on nighttime. Although I don't really know what good. Well, I guess it sort of synergizes because you can see longer away. So if another person's trying to gank you while you have Eclipse already on and they're farther away, the Eclipse beams might still hit them. Excuse me. And meanwhile, on the Scourge, we have Nyx playing the carry role. I really like Nyx as a hero, and I'm really happy to see him played. Nyx gets countered by a lot of things, but he's a pretty item-independent carry. He only really needs an armlet and treads in order to do a lot of damage, in order to be a successful damage dealer, unlike many modern-day carries which need a lot of items, or a really expensive item in order to do well, like a Spectre and a Silver need a Radiance. Morphling needs 2 or 3 items before he becomes a beast, although he has a ridiculous nuke blank. So anyway, time to start the game. Oh, that is the fast forward button. Also, you might be noticing that my mouse movement is a lot smoother. Yeah, that's because I realized it might not be a good idea to use my built-in laptop mouse. I think, looking back on it, I think that probably made a lot of people motion sickness. By a lot of people, I mean probably the 2 people who watch. But that's okay. I love you 2 people who watch. Thank you so much. Alright, anyway, Crystal Maiden bought a smoke, and Necrolight's bottom. Earthshaker and Luna and Crystal Maiden are roaming top to play some wards. We're going to have PGG solo mid. We're going to have Windrunner top. We're going to have Ancient Apparition, I'm sure, with Nyx bottom, and maybe an Enigma in the woods, in the offensive woods. I don't know. That's what it looks like. Yep, Enigma in the offensive woods. Meanwhile, looks like they Retry guessed right, and they're placing their Windrunner in the tri-lane up top against the Sentinel tri-lane of Crystal Maiden, Earthshaker, Luna, which has a lot of range. Lucent Beam has an extremely long range for a nuke. Earthshaker's Fisher, of course, an extremely long range spell. Crystal Maiden's Frost Nova, an AoE slow that goes up to 1,100 distance if you get the very edge of the AoE and the cast range. Meanwhile, we have a Necrolite bottom, so Necrolite will have some trouble, but he is facing a melee laner, and if the Enigma's in the jungle, he probably won't harass too much. But a Necrolite always has to be careful for an Enigma gank out of the woods. And looks like we're going to have Miguel Clockwork solo mid. Miguel is a really competent Clockwork, I think, but PGG should win the lane just because of the fact that he is ranged. Fuck. I really like melee heroes, and I find heroes like Windrunner and Palm really boring. So I'm rooting for you, Miguel. Clockwork is one of my favorite heroes because he's fucking annoying as hell, and I like heroes that piss people off, or heroes that are really easy to play. So the creeps are hitting. Yes, that is the sound of creeps hitting. Looks like Enigma is denied the Scourge creep and is going to jungle. Let's watch the bottom lane for a bit, because I feel like Necrolite will do okay. Of course, he has to be scared of the Ancient Apparition. Yep, Ancient Apparition picking a good sweet spot in the woods, where Nyx can have free farm and he can engage in the sort of last hit battle with the Necrolite. He casts a Cold Feet and scares Necrolite off the lane a little bit. Nyx is a pretty interesting hero in this game. I feel like Nyx is a good solid pick because there's a lot of magical damage on Scourge, and Nyx won't have to farm BKB up until he really needs it. He'll have enough second to kill. Once he gets his killing items, he'll have enough time to kill one hero before he sort of gets nuked down. And if he gets a BKB, he'll have loads of time. So Nyx with his built-in BKB rage will be extremely effective against the nuke heavy carry like Luna and Crystal Maiden, Earthshaker. Clockwork is a magical damage hero in general, and Necrolite, of course, is all magical damage for the most part. So Nyx is a really strong hero in this case, and Ancient Apparition is doing a good job just poking out at the Necrolite. Necrolite is still only level 1 when Nyx is halfway to level 3. So, I feel like Ancient Apparition's doing a good job considering there's only really one harass and he's babysitting a melee hero. So Ancient Apparition is doing a really good job scaring Necrolite across lane. Of course Necrolite is probably getting a little bit more experience than say if he was fighting another ranged hero that could also harass a bit, or if he was fighting a tri-lane without Enigma. But he's not really getting much done. Meanwhile, Earthshaker sort of recognizes that was... My god, am I going through fucking puberty? That was a fail voice crack. That was terrible. Earthshaker recognizes the fact that Necrolite needs farm. I think they were hoping to have Necrolite go against a Windrunner in the solo lane, but Retry sort of did a good job identifying where the Necrolite would be. And the thing about Necrolite is, although he can handle himself in a lane, he really needs a lot of items in order to become an effective mid-game hero. He needs tank items, he needs mana regen, he needs all sorts of items in order to function well as his role as a mass heal tank that is really annoying to play against. Meanwhile, Windrunner's doing a good job here. Since Earthshaker shifted bottom, there's not as much long-range initiation against the Windrunner. There's no stun now unless Crystal Maiden walks up and throws down Frostbite. Angel throws down a Lucent Beam on excuse me, on Funny 228, the Windrunner. But I think now that Earthshaker's left lane, Windrunner can be a little bit more... won't have as much trouble as if the Earthshaker was there, since Crystal Maiden is slow and attack doesn't really do as much damage, and they really need sort of an Earthshaker stun to sort of get the full power of their nuking tri-lane. Angel still should have a good time farming. He's already 18-8. Let's check out his counterpart on the bottom lane. Nyx is at 20 and 9. Meanwhile, oh. Well, I caught the first blood. I don't really know how it happened. They caught the Enigma jungling in the woods. Miguel sent down a rocket and killed him, basically. And that's what happened. Earthshaker threw down a Fisher, and Necrolite came to help, although Macbeth did manage to pick off Rise. So that's a little unfortunate. Although Sentinel did get the first blood through Miguel's rocket, I feel like Scourge handled themselves okay because they got Nyx a kill on the Necrolite on their solo, and now they're going to chase out the Earthshaker. Earthshaker's kind of boned here. He's getting open wounded, he's getting cold feeted, and Nyx is just gonna... Oh my god, Nyx with the... Oh, okay. So, good job by A getting the last hit. Nyx has almost died to the tower. Enigma came around, didn't really do anything. He didn't even get an assist. He was pretty useless on that gang, but he was very scary when when a fucking giant blue genie comes at you. You're gonna be scared. It's like Genie from Aladdin. He is fucking scary. So anyway, PGG's, now that PGG picked up the double damage rune, he should be able to... Oh, Miguel actually is handling himself pretty well against PGG, 15 against 18 CS. Clockwork does have higher base damage, and he's not fighting a tri-lane, so he'll get more levels. And he has a rocket, of course, to get creep kills. So he's doing alright. Marana, of course, is... Oh, only... barely... They're basically got the same experience, so Miguel's doing a good job handling himself against Marana. And early level 6 on Clockwork is really necessary because... Although Clockwork becomes a really strong mid-game hero as soon as he hits level 6, he becomes a strong initiator, as we see Clockwork being initiated upon by Enigma and Marana. He hooks on Enigma. But he doesn't get the cog, and now I think he might... Nope, looks like he's just going to chase Enigma away. He might be able to catch up with him if he gets another battery assault off. No, he just rockets and cancels the clarity. But Clockwork really needs a level 6 and needs some early farm if he wants to sort of dominate the game, the mid-game, like he is supposed to. Otherwise, he just becomes sort of an initiator in the mid-game who just hooks in, does a bit of magical damage, and just dies, which is really unfortunate. So Necrolite has 5 CS. He's getting totally destroyed. Wow, really good, really good spider senses by Nyx, just to